Hello everyone, so my name is Severine. I'm from Belgium and my project this summer was to work on Mission San Francisco de la Espada to make an archaeological overview and an assessment. So an archaeological overview and assessment is a support, the objective of it is to support the planning and the management of the park cultural resources. So basically I describe and assess the known and potential cultural resources we can find inside the park, and I summarize the data we already had to try to find the future needs we have to do on the site. So my internship is made by the US ICOMOS, which is linked to the UNESCO as a Smithsonian institution. I work on the National Park Service in San Antonio and with the collaboration of Mission Heritage Partners, and I also receive a scholarship from my country. So concerning the localization of the site, it's in Texas, in San Antonio. Mission Espada is the southernmost mission, and it's located on the west bank of the San Antonio River. You can go. Thank you. Concerning the history of Mission Espada, the area is occupied by different native tribes before the establishment of the first mission. So the Mission Espada is established in its current location in 1731 after changing a few times of location and names. During the years 1740, the mission starting to be built out of masonry. So it's the first scale here you can see. During the year 1750, the mission is enclosed by a wall to protect itself. And finally, it's reached its current expansion during the year 1780 to reach its current extension. During the secularization era, after that, we have the secularization area between 1794 and 1824. During the post-mission area, we starting to have the first restoration happening on the site, made especially by Father Bouchot during the year 1860. During the recent area, we have a few conservation and restoration projects happening on the site. And the site is finally recognized in 1972 as a National Register of Historic Places. And finally, the National Park Service is created in 1978, but only opened to the visitors in 1983. And finally, in 2015, the Mission Espada and the other mission of San Antonio are recognized by the UNESCO. So you can. Thank you. So basically, I starting by assessing the traits we can find on the site. So what can cause some damage for the preservation. So for example, we have the climate change because it induces more droughts and floods happening on the site. We also have the water, which is a huge problem for the preservation of the site. We also have the pollution, which can induce some problems, some conservation problems. You can think. So for the observation, for example, we can observe some cracks around the compound. So right here, there is also a harvester ant nest inside the middle of the compound. We can also observe like some trees growing inside the acequia. So the acequia is the irrigation systems. So the problems of tree growing inside, we can lose the trace of the acequia, and so we won't be able to find it anymore. There is also some trees growing near the ruins, which can disturb any archaeological deposit, or we can cause some conservation problems. And finally, we have the parking, which is located inside the compound, which is a problem because it induces some vibration, but for the preservation, it induces some pollution problem, and it's bad for the visual impact of the site. So concerning the recommendation, I recommend to do a study assessing the different traits we can observe on the site to observe their extension and depth and to see what we can try to do to avoid the damage caused by them. I will also recommend to change the location of the parking lot inside the area because it induces a lot of problems. I will also recommend to do some more research about the restoration to have a better idea of the evolution of the site and to understand which parts are original and which parts are restoration. So for example, we can do some investigation about the construction. We can also do some archaeological excavation in some part of the site, like the cairns or the old wells north to the compound to know if it's an archaeological structure and we need to preserve it, or to know if it's just a modern element. And so finally, I will maybe try to reconstruct the historical landscape with historical plans to give an idea to the visitor what it was looked like at the time of the mission. So in conclusion, we still have some questions about some part of the site. So the evolution, we are not sure which part are original, which part are reconstruction. There are some worrying conservation issue in some part of the mission as well. And so we need further research about the danger threatening the site and how to try to manage them. So thank you so much.